Well, over 200 people dead so far today in Israel after these attacks this morning by Hamas terrorists, and we are continuing our coverage throughout the day in the Jewish state and what is happening there. So let's bring in some experts right now on foreign policy, Harley Lippman and Michael Santo. Harley, let me start with you. You know, some people might think this is just, some militants against Israel. But what's the bigger connection here? You got Iran, and let me throw in another country right now, another bad actor in many ways, Russia.
Yeah, I think you're covering it. There's more to it. So what are the broader implications? One, why is this happening now? Clearly, Iran does not want to see a Saudi-Israel normalization. So they want to do everything they can to sabotage it. So clearly they're behind it. And Hamas doesn't want to see a Saudi-Israel normalization and peace because they want to destroy Israel. It says it in their own manifesto. They say they want to obliterate Israel. And the opportunity now is for Israel to turn the tables and obliterate Hamas because they have declared war on Israel. And it's not just declaring a war. They have deliberately gone after to kill women and children and innocents. There's a picture where one of the Palestinian terrorists is flashing a V sign when he's standing over an 80-year-old woman in a wheelchair. They take pleasure and deliberately try to kill women and children. And I think as a nation, as a society, as part of civilization, if we stand for anything, it's that whatever your grievance, you don't deliberately go after civilians, women and children. So I think that's the big difference. And then I want to add one other thing. A lot of comparisons have been made to the Yom Kippur War. And why is that meaningful? A lot of people don't realize a little context is important. Before the Yom Kippur War, there was a 67 war. And Israel surprised everybody and won the war in 6 days. So they looked 12 feet tall. And then all of a sudden in 73, they're surprised by a coordinated attack. Exactly what's happening now. So what does that tell you? It tells you, one, Israel had a huge intelligence failure. Lessons learned in history. Almost to the date, 50 years later, the 3 rules of warfare Israel didn't follow. 1, never underestimate your enemy. 2, never think they can't come back from disaster. And 3, never hold them in contempt. And Israel, I think, has violated those rules once again. I think they'll recover and come back. But this is part of a wider regional conflict that's going to include Iran. It's going to include Hamas. And I think the United States needs to do everything to support its friend and ally in the region so Israel could turn the tables, and instead of letting Hamas obliterate Israel, Israel obliterate Hamas.
Michael Santo, let me ask you a question. I was going to ask this about the intelligence failure. So clearly everyone was caught by surprise, caught off guard on this. But this was so well planned and coordinated with such a fierce attack. How did not Israel know about something like this? And even intelligence agencies like the CIA and those in Europe?
I think that there's going to be a lot of reevaluations of that, just like after the Yom Kippur War. No intelligence is perfect. You know, the Yom Kippur War resulted in unprecedented U.S. support in that war for Israel, which was unprecedented. And so we need a unified Israeli-U.S. response just like that. Israel leads the world in border security. We use Israeli border security at our border with Mexico, and that started in 2000 continuously. I think the Israeli company is Elbit. So the fact that Hamas was able to sneak past Israeli security is a surprise. Never underestimate your enemy, and they will. And the truth of the matter is, in warfare, every once in a while you will be surprised. So as long as there are evil terrorist organizations like Hezbollah, Hamas, and Al Qaeda out there, we're not safe. And just like after 9/11, we responded by seeking to destroy Al Qaeda, Israel has to destroy Hamas. It shows they have crossed all red lines. It's a barbaric attack against Israeli civilians. And they don't want peace between Saudi Arabia and Israel, and they seek only Israel's destruction. It is a little bit too early to know the specifics of intelligence failures, but you can't be safe when you have a terrorist organization control Gaza. And to a great extent, tragically, Hezbollah exerts great control over Lebanon and terrorist control Syria, including the Russian government.
Harley Lippman, Michael Santo, we appreciate your thoughts and your knowledge on that region. So thanks for being with us.